Okay, guys, our final topic is understanding the balancing factor. So let me give you a brief history on why we have a balancing factor. In 2017, prior to 2017, we didn't have a concept called documented volume, and we didn't have a concept called balancing factor. In 2017, the FTC came to Herbalife and said, prove your legitimate business. Herbalife did, and we showed them our sales. And so while our sales were proven, they said, we don't really have a way of showing that those were receipted sales versus just inventory purchased. So in order to become compliant or to meet the requirements, the new requirements of the FTC, Herbalife came up with a concept called documented volume, where you do not get credit and you do not get level advancement unless you provide receipts. So we call documented volume simply receipted sales. So in order for, now look, Herbalife had been a company for what, 37 years prior to this. So we would get credit if I bought 10,000 volume points in products. I got level advancement based on $10,000 worth of purchases. Not so today. I have to receipt the sales. So not only do we have to receipt the sales, we have to receipt 80% or higher every single month of what we've purchased to Herbalife. Okay, so we can't keep excess hands of product on hand. So with that said, Herbalife came up with a balancing factor, and the balancing factor was a way to keep our payout the same prior to 2017 and post 2017. So what they did, so I always say, like, our balancing factor is like Herbalife is grading on a curve. You remember like being in high school and your teacher would grade on a curve in a difficult subject, and so the highest score was an 80, so that 80 became 100, and then you were so grateful because you made a 60 and that made your 60 like at least a 70 or an 80, right? Because you graded on a curve and then you passed. So that's kind of what like the balancing factor is. It's kind of like Herbalife grading on a curve. So how do we figure it? So before I show you how we figure it, I want you to know that you don't have to understand and go figuring this every single month. We have a cheat sheet. We will re-drop this cheat sheet in our Telegram chat so that you can actually have access to it. I would highly recommend that you save this in your notes on your phone so that you can make quick reference to it every single month as you go into your cuts and your level advancements for Active World Team, the Global Expansion Team, Millionaire Team, and the President's Team. So we learned in the previous what the qualifications for those, and I just jotted them down here for you once again. So how you actually maneuver that volume or calculate that volume with the balancing factor is you would actually take 10,000, okay, and you would divide it. So I'm going to type it here so you guys can write it in your notes. You're going to divide it by 1.22, okay? So if you took 10,000 and you divided it by 1.22, you actually would come up with this number right here. Okay, 8,196. So we actually say you need 8,200 documented volume, just because we don't ever want to come in at the skin of our teeth, guys. That's not a cool way to land in your cuts. Okay, because listen, if you get a refund in your cuts, then that volume is taken away, because that's volume that you actually did not do. Turns out you don't get credit for that. So don't ever slide under the radar. Okay, so let's take 20,000 documented volume, and again, we're going to divide it by 1.22, and that actually gives you 16,393.4426. Okay, so of course we're going to say you want to do 16.4. Okay, we're going to round that up. So on your cheat sheet, you guys will see that we have these rounded numbers. We have a second cheat sheet, guys, that actually gives you a daily documented volume that you want to be hitting on a daily basis in your organization. First three levels again, right? in order for you to make that qualification. So I'm not going to do the calculations here for you. You see how the calculations are made. Again, it is divided by 1.22. So your organization, when you see on a daily basis inside of myherbalife.com and you go run a supervisor volume plus report and you see that you are sitting at 15,000 in your organizational first 3 levels, right? In your supervisor volume, that number needs to end out at 16,400. Okay. And then you would have hit first cut of Get Team, because they'll take that 16.4, they'll multiply it times the 1.22, and it'll land you at 20,000 documented volume. So with that said, after royalties have ran on the 10th, right, 11th, once checks are posted, when you go in to look at your royalties, you will actually see that uplifted factor posted. So just know that prior to end of month and prior to royalty run, everything showing up in your BizWorks reporting is without the uplift factor. So you're working on that inside of your cheat sheet. Once royalties are posted, that has already had the 1.22 balancing factor number applied. Okay, so I'm going to pause this and let your teachers and moderators take care of Q&A.